I had to go back 2 years, I would just say, don't be scared. Because going into any new place, you're always going to have some fear of what is it going to be like, what the people are going to be like, am I going to find it okay, am I going to be okay?
If I went back 2 years ago, when we first started, I'd probably tell myself, just talk to people, like even more than normal, just go around and talk to them and see how many friends you can make on the first day and see how many people you can make a connection with.
This school has made me understand how to interact with new people. Knowing more people makes my life more interesting.
Revise every day.
I would say the opposite, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I would say...
I would work harder, work more frequently.
Don't be worried about anything. There will always be people there who are looking out for you, whether they're the same age as you, whether they're older than you. There will always be people there that you can talk to.
You need to just enjoy every day as it comes, not to overthink, but to just appreciate what you have in that moment.
I would just tell myself to not be so afraid because I'm here now and everything turned out fine.
First name's Otis. Who's Otis?
When I first came to the school, it was not as intimidating as I thought it would be.
It was funny because this was my third state form in the space of 2 weeks.
I was both simultaneously really scared but really excited. Going to a new place, a new school with new people, everything was going to be so different, and I was worried because I didn't have the same people there.
When I was driving up to the school, my family were just giving me a little pep talk saying, you've got to like this because, you've kind of toured around Birmingham. So I was kind of really anxious. It was something I kind of depended on needing to like it.
But what I do remember from the assembly was Mr. Rode and Miss Teague being very positive about what the next few years would be like. They told us a bit about the school, about what it would be like, about character, about enrichment, and it was very different.
I think I got here one of the first people who got here out of the sixth form, so I was standing outside on my own. I found out that 2 other people from my old school came, so I wasn't on my own anymore.
I walked in through the main entrance and I just saw white everywhere.
When I walked in, the first thing I saw was a big camera just pointing at me, and actually it's in the reception. There's always in the slideshow there's always a picture of me on the first day. Whenever I go to the reception I always see it. It's a bit embarrassing.
When I started, it was initially very scary. I found it quite intimidating coming to a new school, but we were all in the same boat really, so I found that we quite quickly gelled together and we formed a sense of community.
I remember the first time. I remember how we met. I was playing badminton. She came along with her racket.
I was crazy.
Do you want to play with me? And then that's how we made friends.
I mean, it was more along the lines of, I know after this we're going to be great friends. And I remember Riel's expression very distinctly. It was,
Everyone was so nice to me. Everyone was like, hi, blah, blah, and they were introducing me to them, and it felt like I was meant to be here.
Well, the reason I chose the school was quite simply the name, University of Birmingham School. It's a great school, it's a great university. One of the great things offered here was computer science. So I've always wanted to do computer science. I planned on reading it at university. And then I found out that the teacher that writes the textbooks is teaching here, and I was like, wow, this is the perfect school for me.
I would find myself staying after school just because I enjoyed being in school.
There really is something for everyone. There's always something new to talk about or something interesting to say to someone. Or it's been an amazing time to really get to know different people from different backgrounds.
When we first came here, we knew that there was only going to be year 12s and year 7s, which is really different because there is no place you will ever get that gap and not have years in between.
We got to work a lot with the younger years, and you don't usually do that in sixth form. It's usually a secondary school in sixth form, but in this school, it's one big school.
Even though they're year sevens and we're older than them, it can be quite intimidating because there's such a big gap between all of us, and because the school is quite a close environment as well, it's inevitable that you're going to bump into people and meet them. And I remember when we had our very, very first college event and we were all in the atrium, we were getting ready to go, and suddenly, I think it was Amber, my college, we started chanting and banging on the tables, Amber, Amber, and then everyone started doing it for all the individual colleges, even the year sevens.
It felt like a community. That was the first time where all of us were together celebrating.
At that moment, we all kind of knew that, oh, this is actually going to be okay.
I thought we needed a good send-off for the end of the year, so I was like, let's make an assembly.
Turn that mic on, please.
Initially it was just an award ceremony. It's now become a performance.
Good.
And then, you'll just have to do it like a presenter.
Where the music can go down the touch, they'll be heard.
Yeah, okay. Maybe a bit just to show myself off, but that doesn't matter to me. I'm just to have fun and to give everyone a fitting send-off.
Okay, so enrichment essentially is extracurricular activities that are not related to any lessons that you do, but really to build your skills, to build your character, and to do something you enjoy because you enjoy it.
When you have 1 hour on a Monday and a Friday and 3 hours on a Wednesday, so you can do debating, you can do newspaper, you can do cooking, you can do baking, you can do arts and crafts.
Badminton, volleyball,
cricket, football, running.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
So many different things. Taekwondo.
Did we do run? We didn't do run.
No.
We did for a bit.
No,
like
not
once. So for AS enrichment, we did sports leaders, and we were in conjunction with an organisation called the Great Run.
Yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
Even when the weather was bad, like I remember the puddles. There were ice at one point,
Yeah.
but we still went out
And ran.
Yeah.
Like you could do like 2K.
Yeah,
5K.
2K or 5K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday.
In Carnival week last year, we had an enrichment week, and it was the last week of school, and there was a huge list of things, but I saw radio, start your own radio station. I was like, that is definitely down my alley.
Just so good.
Any chance for people to listen, and I'll take it.
Being able to do it in school because of the freedom we have.
I did those sing-along karaoke classics, and I absolutely loved it.
The Arabic and Latin sessions, I wanted to choose them as enrichment because I'm very interested in languages as a subject, and they just seem completely different than what is normally offered in schools, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to try and learn something new.
I chose baking because it's my hobby and I really like baking so much. I wanted to do baking, I wanted to spread that knowledge with the younger years as well, so I was able to teach the younger years in how to do baking. I had to make a recipe for them to follow, something that's simple because year 7 you can't bring in so many ingredients because I'll forget them. So I had to minimize all of that and think of easy recipes that you can do in 1 hour and clean up and done, everything's finished. It kind of made me quite happy that I was able to talk to them and teach them, and it helped with my organisation skills massively.
On Wednesdays, I was working at a nursing home. I was talking to the elderly every Wednesday afternoon, which was quite lovely, and it was an experience that I know that I probably wouldn't have got if I didn't come to the school. I don't think I would necessarily just go to volunteer if I wasn't doing the enrichment programme.
What I think really sparked my interest in politics, which is what I want to do now, was the politics enrichment run by Mrs. Childs. I was very passionate about politics at the time, and at that point I felt the need to set up my own enrichment, which would focus on young people getting more involved in politics and actually having a say and getting to know a bit more about how the political system works in the UK. And that's when I set up Politics in Tea. We have a group of students, around 20 students, who sit down every Monday afternoon talking about current affairs, talking about the political system, and with the discussion, obviously a lovely cup of tea. We have 7 flavours of tea to choose from, which is definitely one of the defining features, and coffee as well. Welcome to the very last session of Politics and Tea for this term. Today we'll be discussing about what the different parties have to offer for this general election. For a lot of us, this will be the first time we go to the polls and vote. So let's see how today goes. A lot of us are going to be voting for the first time in the general election, in the mayoral election. There'll be very difficult decisions for us to make. And Politics and Tea, I hope at least, has given young people the opportunity to actually know what they're voting for in terms of political philosophy, in terms of policy, and in terms of how they want the country to be run.
Second year, I actually was co-running the debating club with someone. And then I also started my own enrichment called K-pop. So K-pop basically stands for Korean pop, and it's quite a popular music style now because they have such a different culture and so many different subcultures to what we have in our Western music. You'll tend to see really, really bright, vibrant colours and outfits that just look really, really cool and, excuse my informal language, have a lot of swag. So it goes... At the start, we're normally just screaming and shouting and listening to all the new music that's been released and has come out. And last year I wouldn't have done that because I was too scared. I didn't have enough confidence. But after being here for a year, I knew the people, I knew what I could do and what I couldn't do. So I just went for it, spoke to the teacher and got it done.
With lessons and stuff, you're working really hard and, you know, you're doing what the teacher's telling you to do and you're just focusing on A-levels. And that's more or less what you're meant to be doing in school. School is for education. Whereas with enrichment, it teaches you education in a different way. It teaches you to do stuff that you enjoy with a meaning, with a purpose, I suppose. It makes you more aware. When I started Sixth Form, my family were very sure that I was going to go to medicine. And so when I started to think about English literature, I didn't really tell them about it until I was sure of it, until I was sure that I wanted to go into it. And then coming to this school, I thought, I can do that. I can go into publishing and I can bring my passion into something that I want to do and what I can inspire to be when I'm older.
My personal goals have changed quite a lot over the course of these 2 years. I was convinced that I wanted to do medicine. That was my career path that I wanted to do. Whereas now, I'm completely open to whatever happens, really. I know I want to study languages, which I know is completely different. Ultimately, with my career path, I'm not sure what I want to do, but I just know that I want to study something within languages.
When I first came to the school, I knew I wanted to do something with physics, but I also wanted to do something that incorporated my creative side. I found out that engineering was an option for me, and that was something that I should go down because I do product design, physics and math, and those fit hand in hand for engineering.
At first I just wanted to do baking just as an excuse so that I could start cooking in school, but it turned into more of a hobby for teaching, and I really enjoyed teaching the younger years especially how to do things, watching their mind processes work.
I came here thinking I want to go through the medicine route. I don't know, maybe nursing, maybe biomed. But then, you know, like in art, A-level art, I was taught like oil painting, and my development from my first ever oil painting to my last ever oil painting is like completely different. So it makes me feel like, if I focus on this, I will do amazing on this. Like if I focus on painting, I will do amazing on painting. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of doing painting, being an artist.
I joined the school and I thought that what I wanted to do was become a doctor. Everything I did to that point was thinking I wanted to have a career in medicine. But I thank the school so much, because if it wasn't for them, and if it wasn't for the opportunities I got at the school, and the things they allowed me to expose myself to get more involved into discussions with teachers about things that I was really passionate about, then I don't think I would actually be doing the subjects I'm doing today, history, religious studies, maths. I don't think I would be as involved as I am now in politics locally and even nationally if it wasn't for the push I got from the school to actually do what I love.
I think what this school has allowed me to do is try and do lots of different activities to find what works best for me. It all allowed me to understand how to interact with new people and how personally just to feel better. Like knowing more people makes my life more interesting.
Looking back at myself 2 years ago, I didn't think I would be this person I am, but I didn't think I would know the person that I am now.
I was quite a shy person. I wouldn't feel confident in talking to people in English, let alone in any other language.
With this school, it's taught me that I can face the challenges that are thrown at me.
I've definitely been more rounded in terms of especially talking to new people.
Whereas now I'm more confident in speaking to people and expressing my opinions and what I think.
Because in normal schools, they only teach you the curriculum and what you need to know for your exam paper or for your coursework. But in this school, it's not just the specification or the curriculum. It's also like how you are after school, after you graduate.
In life, everything can go. Money can go and your assets can go. But the only thing you have left once everything else goes is your character. And in that sense, your character defines the person you are and how you live your life.
If I could sum up the school in one sentence, I'd say it's a huge community.
It is just unlike anything you'll ever see.
A safe place, that there is more to life than just academia. It teaches me to be a good person.
Welcoming, open, and a true example of community.
I enjoy every day at this school because I know that there's going to be a new challenge to face. I know that if I didn't go to this school, I wouldn't be as confident, as cheerful, as outgoing, as approachable as I am now.
Discussing about what